You're not confused about what to do. You know what would help your body, your time, the thing you keep swearing you'll start. You could write the list in your sleep. The knowing has never, ever been the problem, which is exactly why this drives you crazy. Because if you know, then why can't you just do it? And in the silence after that question, you've quietly answered it. Something must be wrong with me. I'm lazy, I'm weak, everyone else has something I don't. Stop right there because that conclusion is both wrong and cruel. The gap between knowing and doing is not a character flaw. It is one of the most common, most fixable structural problems there is. You don't need to become a better person. You're not the thing that's broken. And so, if it isn't you, what is the gap actually made of? Let me show you, because once you see what's really in that space between knowing and doing, the self-blame stops making sense. Here's what's actually in the gap. Knowing and doing live on two completely different levels. And no one ever told you that you have to translate between them. What you know is almost always an outcome. Get healthier, start the project, be more present. But an outcome isn't an action, it's only a general heading. You cannot do get healthier. It's not a thing your hands can perform on a Tuesday. So when you sit down to act on it, your brain reaches for something concrete to grab, and it finds only a vague category, and it simply stalls, stuck. That stall is the gap. And you've been reading it as a personal failure when it's actually just a missing translation step. So the shift is this: stop trying to do the thing you know and start shrinking it down until it's one specific physical action so small it can't possibly be misunderstood. Not exercise more, but instead, put my shoes by the door tonight. Not start the project, instead, open the document and write the title. One step, so clear and easy there's no decision left to make in the moment, no gap left to fall into. The knowing was never going to be enough on its own because knowing points at the mountain. Doing needs the next single step on the path, marked and waiting. Build that one step. That's structure. And the gap you've been blaming yourself for closes. Not because you finally got disciplined, but because there's finally something small enough to actually do. Hey, if you've been standing in that gap, calling yourself the problem, the first real move is to find out which pattern keeps you stuck there so that you know exactly which step to shrink first. I'm Aleta Michelle. Turning the things you already know into one small step that you can actually take is the heart of the work I do. That's precisely what my free quiz starts. 3 minutes to name which 4 patterns is widening that gap for you, and the first concrete step to bridge it. The link is in the description. Go take it. It happens to be the smallest possible doable step, which is the whole point. And if you want to keep closing the gap from there, be sure to subscribe. I post one short, doable video every week. See you in the next one.